What's going on in Philadelphia? After starting the season strong, the Eagles suddenly find themselves in a tailspin. 2 straight losses, just 17 points scored in each game, and a fan base that's starting to feel that uneasy déjà vu. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's eerily similar to the 2023 collapse, when the Birds went from a 10-1 powerhouse to finishing 11-6, limping into the playoffs. And now, heading into Week 7 against the Minnesota Vikings, the question hanging over the city of brotherly love is simple. What happened to the Eagles' offense? Let's dive in. Jordan Mailata, the 6 feet 8 inches, 365-pound offensive tackle who's become a fan favorite for his massive frame and even bigger personality, didn't hold back this week when talking to reporters. After a mini-bye gave the team a few extra days to regroup, Mailata pinpointed what he believes is the real issue: Philadelphia's inability to run the football. Not the passing chemistry, not the play calling, not even the locker room noise. Just one thing: the ground game. Mailata said the team needs to be the aggressor and punch first. In other words, get back to what made this Eagles offense special. When we're running downhill and wearing defenses out, that's when we're at our best, he said, adding that the team's rhythm, confidence, and even their energy on the sideline start with dominating the trenches. He's not wrong. For years, this team's identity has been built on physicality, on controlling the line of scrimmage. Whether it was the brotherly shove, quarterback sneak, the RPO schemes with Jalen Hurts, or the 1-2 punch of running backs grinding out yards behind the best defensive line in football, the Eagles' offense worked because it dictated the game. When they run, they win. It's that simple. But lately, that identity's gone missing. Despite adding Saquon Barkley, the 2024 rushing champion, Philadelphia ranks just 25th in rushing yards per game, a staggering drop from their number 2 ranking last season. Let that sink in. From 179.3 yards per game last year to just 95.3 now, per Fox Sports. That's not a minor dip, that's an identity crisis. And Barkley's production tells the story. Through 7 weeks this season, he hasn't had a single 100-yard game. Last year, he had 4 by this point, and he was on pace to challenge Eric Dickerson's legendary 2,105-yard single-season rushing record. This year, just 3 touchdowns and a lot of frustration. It's not just about Barkley, though. When the Eagles don't establish the run, the whole offensive rhythm unravels. Jalen Hurts, the team's dynamic dual-threat quarterback, thrives off play action and designed runs. Without the ground game, defenses are sitting back, spying Hurts, and forcing him into tight windows. And that's led to miscommunication with wide receiver A.J. Brown, who's reportedly voiced frustration about his role and targets. Sound familiar? That's how cracks start forming inside a locker room. And speaking of frustration, Lane Johnson, the veteran right tackle and one of the emotional leaders of this team, recently called the offense predictable. That's a strong word coming from a player who's been through both the highs of the 2017 Super Bowl run and the lows of last season's late collapse. Johnson knows what good offense looks like, and he knows when something's off. So what's the fix? According to Mailata, and, honestly, to a lot of Eagles fans, it's going back to basics. Run the ball. Play fast. Set the tone. That's the Philly way. And here's the good news. The upcoming matchup might be the perfect opportunity to do just that. The Minnesota Vikings rank 24th against the run, allowing 132.2 rushing yards per game. Their front 7 has struggled to contain physical offensive lines, and Philadelphia's group, even with a few bumps this season, is still one of the league's best when it comes to mauling defenders in the run game. Imagine it, Saquon Barkley finally breaking a big one, Hurts keeping the defense honest with a few QB draws, and that offensive line imposing its will for 4 quarters. That's how you flip the narrative. Let's take a step back in Philadelphia. This isn't the first time the Eagles have faced the Eagles suddenly find themselves back in 2017. 2 straight losses led the team to its first ever Super Bowl title, and a fan base the most talented team on paper. They were just the toughest. Sound familiar? That team had grit. It's eerily similar to the 2023 collapse Lincoln Financial Field went every 10-1 powerhouse to finishing 11-6, fly Eagles limping into the playoffs until their voices give out. And now, heading into Week 7 against the Minnesota Vikings, the question hanging over the city of brotherly love is simple. Fans here don't just watch football. They dive in. They dissect Jordan every play, the 6 feet 8 inches, every call, 365-pound offensive tackle. If there's a place in America that knows when its football team isn't living up to expectations, didn't hold back this week when talking to reporters. Tactically speaking, after a mini-bye gave the team a few extra days to regroup. Offensive coordinator Kellen Moore has reportedly been the real issue during the mini-bye. Philadelphia's inability adding more motion and misdirection to get passing chemistry into open space. Not the play calling. Expect to see more two tight end sets. Just maybe a few design screens, the ground game, and a heavier dose of power running early against Minnesota. Be the aggressor. If it works, the pressure eases off Hurts. In other words, the receivers get more one-on-one looks, this Eagles and suddenly special. Everything starts when we're running downhill and wearing defenses out. He's faced criticism at our best. But let's remember, adding that this is a quarterback who's already taken his team to a Super Bowl, on the sideline, nearly beating Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in one of the most electric title games 4 years. This team's identity has been built on physicality, on controlling the line of turning the season around. Whether it was the brotherly shove safety Brian Dawkins once said, the RPO scheme adversity introduces a man or the 1-2 punch of running backs grinding out yards behind the best defensive line in football. 2025 Eagles offense worked really because it dictated the game. And you can feel it when they run. Fans, they win. Analysts, even players. Simple. Everyone knows this is a pivotal moment. That identity's gone missing. Lose another game, despite adding Saquon Barkley, the 2024 rushing champion, especially in Philadelphia ranks just 25th, and suddenly rushing yards per game. Doubts fade. A staggering drop from their number 2 ranking last season. It's not just about Week 7. Let that sink in. It's about momentum. From 179.3 yards per game for the rest of the season to just 95.3 Imagine the headlines Monday morning Fox if the birds come out. That's not a minor dip. Eagles rediscover their wings. And Barkley's production tells the story. Hurts through 7 weeks this season. He hasn't had a single 100-yard game from the booth at the last year. Touchdown. He had 4 by this Barkley, and he was on pace to challenge Eric Dickerson's legendary 2,105-yard single-season rushing record. We've seen Donovan McNabb silence touchdowns, and we've seen Reggie White redefine defense. It's not just about Barkley, we've seen Nick Foles hoist the Lombardi Trophy against all odds. The whole offensive rhythm of the Philadelphia Eagles has always been one of resilience, dynamic dual-threat quarterback. This mid-season play action and is just another test of that legacy. Without the ground game, so defenses are sitting back, Week 7, spying the message is clear, and forcing him into back to your roots. And that's led to miscommunication with wide receiver A.J. Brown, whose reportedly might be the opponent on paper's role, but the real battle is within. Reclaiming the identity that made this team one of the NFL's inside the locker room. Because in Philly, of frustration, it's never just Lane Johnson, the veteran right tackle and one of the emotional leaders of this team, its passion recently called the offense green, predictable. And as every fan in South Philly will tell you, coming from a player who's been through both the highs of the 2017 Super Bowl run and the lows of last season's late collapse. Johnson knows what good offense looks like, and he knows when something's off. So what's the fix? According to Mailata, and, honestly, to a lot of Eagles fans, it's going back to basics. Run the ball. Play fast. Set the tone. That's the Philly way. And here's the good news. The upcoming matchup might be the perfect opportunity to do just that. The Minnesota Vikings rank 24th against the run, allowing 132.2 rushing yards per game. Their front seven has struggled to contain physical offensive lines, and Philadelphia's group, even with a few bumps this season, is still one of the league's best when it comes to mauling defenders in the run game. Imagine it, Saquon Barkley finally breaking a big one, Hurts keeping the defense honest with a few QB draws, and that offensive line imposing its will for 4 quarters. That's how you flip the narrative.